All right, what's up, fellas? And today, sorry, my voice is already kind of worn out. I just got done streaming. We've been streaming daily, twitch.tv/SwizzPrime, playing Borderlands, little self-plug there. But I think it's time that we do another open discussion for the Transformers comics. We did this a couple months back when it was announced that Robert Kirkman would be the writer for Transformers going forward after issue 24. And we had a discussion talking about if this would be in good hands or not. And I still pretty much stand by with what I said before, and that I think overall we'll be in good hands. But I think after this first issue, I think we have a good sample size of what we can expect. And I wanted to ask you guys, what are your thoughts of the first issue, and give me your 2 early predictions and or hot takes for the story so far. And some of your comments, I've kind of read a couple of them, but most of them, they're going to be a surprise to me. But I feel like this is going to be a little bit more divided, I feel like, than last time when it was announced, because some people really like issue 25, but also some people don't like issue 25. And when I was on Teletran tapes, we all kind of just said like it's like a 7 out of 10, which doesn't mean it's a bad thing at all. I feel like the biggest takeaway for me when it comes to this story, and I think you guys will agree with this, is we all know what this story is capable of. And for the last 24 issues, we have seen great storytelling and rich writing with characters. However, issue 25, in some parts, it doesn't have that same kind of spark that those other 24 issues are. But here's the thing though, right? We're comparing one issue versus 24 issues, right? It's gonna be, it's not a fair matchup. But I do think, like, off of face value and what we got, I think most people would agree that it's not quite the same to what we got. And I think a big thing that people are talking about right now is how some characters' dialogue is changing. Like Soundwave's dialogue is different, Jazz's dialogue is different, and I know a lot of people don't like that. Also, some people don't like how the writing, like, it's a lot more wordy. Like we talked about that on Teletran tapes. We talked about how, the story now is a little bit more wordy, and which it's a good and a bad thing, right? For me, I'm a rookie when it comes to the comic stuff. I've said this multiple times, so I'm just going through the motions. That's basically how I look at it. But I just want to get my initial takes, and I do want to say that I think that we still will be in good hands overall. However, I am really concerned about this story possibly diminishing because Robert Kirkman is writing this. And not to say that he's a bad writer, but he's still writing Void Rivals, and he's also with like Invincible and all that with the show. So I'm just worried that he's going to be overworking himself and the story's going to get diminished because of that. However, I like to believe that Robert Kirkman is a tough cookie, and he can power through it. But man, being involved in 3 major properties like that, and 2 of them are all in one universe, it's a lot. It is a lot. So that's my biggest concern. But let's go ahead and read some of these comments here. 40 comments, by the way, almost 1K likes. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, the community posts are awesome. Thank you, guys. So, mate, I'm confused on how he just forgot Soundwave in Chicago. Imagine he's just recharging and suddenly remembers. I assume you're talking about Megatron. I don't think he forgot. I think he just kind of realized that most of his men are back. So I don't think that's anything too crazy. And he knows like Soundwave's not gonna get destroyed or anything like that. So while I don't think Thundercracker himself will be an Autobot, probably due to the reasons both sides fought each other to begin with, I do think he will help them to some capacity, since he definitely hates harming humans. I was also just seen sitting with Optimus on the issue 27 cover. Yeah, so I think that's the Daniel Warren Johnson cover. It's weird. I've seen people say they don't want Thundercracker being a Autobot, but then I also seen people that they do want to be. It's weird. I don't know how I feel about it myself. I think I would kind of prefer him to just kind of be on no one's faction for the time being, and then like once Megatron starts to get the upper hand again, he probably is going to go and recruit Thundercracker. I think that's what's going to happen here, because again, I am very not knowledgeable at all when it comes to IDW, so I don't know how it happens and how it ends. But I do know that Thundercracker wasn't a Decepticon for a while. I don't know if he was an Autobot. I mean, you guys will probably correct me down in the comments below, but I know that was a whole big, huge arc with Thundercracker's character in the IDW comics. So I don't know what they're really going to do here. I do think him having like a heart-to-heart with Optimus will be interesting, but I hope it's not enough for Thundercracker to be like, hey, I'm an Autobot now. Because I don't know. I don't know. It would, it's not that it would be weird. I don't know. It'd be, I don't know. I can't describe it. Honestly, I believe that Skybound has given us the best Megatron ever so far. He's cold, calculating, and has some sense of honor. Although my favorite Megatron is Transformers Prime's take. Such a good version of the villain. I hope to see the fight between Elita and Optimus, and then everyone telling Elita off. So yeah, I've said this before, and I will keep saying this. This Megatron has the potential to be one of, if not the best Megatrons we've gotten. Yes, he does have a sense of honor. You guys can fight with me on this comments below. You guys have fought on this topic with me before when I made that short. That's fine. You know, we can have an open discussion about it. That's fine. He does have a sense of honor. He's still not a good guy, but he shows respect to the enemy. We saw that with the Energon Universe Special. We saw that with the Origin Starscream. He respects the opposition, but he's still a bad guy. He shows honor. Okay, I'm just trying to plead my case. All right. He reminds me a lot of the Cybertron games Megatron. Like I've said that 100 times. So to me, whenever he speaks, I hear Fred Tatasciore. Like I just hear him saying like, we will return Cybertron to its glory, you know, like stuff like that. So I love this version of Megatron, and I'm gonna keep giving this Megatron praise. And one thing I will give credit to Robert Kirkman for this Megatron is that whole Peace Through Tyranny speech. That seems literally something Daniel Warren Johnson would write. So in terms of like translation and, you know, transferring the characters over to a new writer, I think Kirkman has Megatron nailed to how Warren Johnson had him. But, you know, that's so far in the story. And I think the All Hail Megatron speech was really, really good. I really liked it. So, yeah, I bet that one Decepticon will join the Autobots. I don't know specifically, but it's either Thundercracker, Skywarp, Soundwave, my favorite, or Starscream. I know the last two seem unlikely, but it's unlikeliness that makes it amazing. Yeah, I think that's an interesting one. I don't know about Soundwave. You know, because back in Volume 1, we saw Optimus try and throw up a peace offer to Soundwave at the end of Volume 1, and Soundwave's kind of like, nah, like, you know, you're not Megatron, bro. So I think Soundwave is just always going to be that loyal guy, which it reminds me of like how much I love Soundwave as a Decepticon, and like why he's probably one of my favorites overall. Just because how he's super loyal and he's always down to throw hands, right? Like I saw someone comment saying like, no matter what, this Soundwave always he throws hands with people in the story. And I think I love that. I like he threw hands with Optimus Prime. Like he was surrounded and he was like, I don't care. It's so good. I love that. But I don't know about Starscream. Because, like, we saw him kind of return back to Starscream. You know, he's no longer Ulktar. If I were to take a guess or a bet out of the four, it would be Thundercracker. But again, I don't know if I'd want that. And Skywarp sucks because he's my favorite Seeker. And he's just been kind of on the sidelines because of what happened to him in the first volume. So I really do hope Skywarp returns to his normal self soon. So, yeah. I think at the end of whatever arc we're entering, we're going to get Springer and or Rodimus. Yeah, and you guys are gonna be really mad at me because I know I see some comments on it. Yeah, I haven't been covering Void Rivals. I got bored with it. I plan to catch up soon, hopefully while I'm on vacation this upcoming week. So I hope to catch up on Void Rivals, and if it's interesting, I will start covering it again, but I just couldn't. But the one thing I'm kind of like, oh, I want to go back and read Void Rivals again is because Springer and Hot Rod. So I don't know about the end of arc we'll get Rodimus, because oh boy, I think that will make a lot of people angry, because people keep throwing this term out there like, oh, this comic is very G1, it's G1 2.0, and I'm not going to argue with that. There's a lot of G1 Qs in this story, so I'm not even going to argue and disagree. But if they did like an 86 movie type of comic event, oh boy, it's either going to be really good or really bad. And I don't know. We got a comment from Ranger. What's up, buddy? Bumblebee will become Goldbug. Alita 1 might become Black Arachnia. I've seen that theory pop up. Thundercracker will become a natural or Autobot sympathizer, but won't ever wear the badge. The Dinobots will probably combine as well, either Slash or completely new original member to the team. A human Autobot relationship will lead to the EDC and space stuff, like being a space bridge maybe, and that's my predictions. I wasn't 100% sold on the new art until Soundwave fight scene. It's amazing. I love this new direction a lot. Set up for the future of it's looking bright. Hope to see Cosmos eventually, either in Void Rivals or the main TF series, if we ever get to see Team Prime go to space. Give it a great work as always. Thank you, bro. So Bumblebee will become Goldbug. I talked about. I can't speak tonight. I'm sorry. We talked about this last time in the last discussion video. I think it's likely, and like I don't want to spoil it because I haven't even posted it yet on the discussion on the community tab post. But yeah, issue 27 looks nuts. I'm not gonna say like, oh, Goldbug's in it, but the preview for 27 looks pretty crazy. And I don't know, man. Goldbug stocks, buy him now, I think he's coming soon. Alita 1 becoming Black Arachnia, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't want that to happen. And again, I'm very hazy on it, but like, wasn't Alita 1 in IDW? Like, didn't she have like her own thing going on? Right? Like, am I tripping? Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't she kind of like her own kind of sub faction in a way? Like, she wasn't Autobot or Decepticon. Like, I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Like, and I don't want that to happen either. I want to like say this. If it was up to me, I would just want some type of like how the conflict ends. I would still prefer Alita 1 to be an Autobot, because what we saw with Alita 1 working with Optimus, dude, that's one of the most powerful duos in like the Transformers universe, like period. Like, they took down Devastator like it was nothing, and that's no small feat. Like, that was crazy to see that back in volume 2. So like, I want her to be an Autobot, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. Now, Black Arachnia, that's a thing that happens in Transformers Animated. I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say I don't want that to happen, but it could happen. I guess too, if it does happen, people can't, you know, say that like, oh, it's all G1 now, because that, you know, that's an animated plot point. Thundercracker will become a natural Autobot. Yeah, I think I'd be cool with this. Like, he's not an Autobot or Decepticon, you know, or maybe he is like an honorary Autobot, but yeah, you won't wear the badge. Maybe. I guess I like your prediction here, and I would prefer that prediction to be what this prediction is for 5. Like, if Thundercracker becomes like not on either of the sides, but he works with like with the humans, and that leads up to the EDC, that would be great. I would like that a lot. The Dinobots coming and combining, I don't know if we're gonna get all that. I think the Dinobots are coming this story arc. I think that's a safe bet. But like combining, I don't think so. If we're getting a combiner, it's gonna be Defensor. And no, I'm not coping. Cosmos, that's probably gonna be Void Rivals, bro. I think Cosmos is a safe bet for Void Rivals. Yeah, I do like this new direction. I just we know, like I said earlier, we know what the story is capable of, and I don't think right now it's hitting as hard as it did before. But like, it could again, for sure. I'm not writing off Robert Kirkman. I don't want anyone to get that vibe that I'm like, oh no, because like, dude, no, that's ridiculous. It's one issue. That's why I said like 2 early predictions and or hot takes. Like, come on. So yeah, I'm still not sold on the art. I've said this a bunch of times. I'm still not sold on the art. It's not a deal breaker. I'm still gonna read the story. I you know, it's a great story. It's a great universe. The art's not gonna be a deal breaker for me why I drop it. No. So, but I think I'll eventually grow on the art. I just think some characters look really weird in this new art style. So I don't know. I thought it was really good. However, I could feel the difference between Daniel's writing and Robert's. Yes. Yeah. Right here, the transition from the old art style to the new one. Yes. Okay. So that's a second point. But yes, I agree. The transition was really cool. But I feel like that's also true with the writing. Like, I feel like the Megatron speech was great. And like, you could like say like, okay, this was Warren Johnson writing this, right? But it was Kirkman. But once we got to that transition, you know, you could tell there was a different, you know, there was a difference in writing. And not to say that's like a bad thing or a good thing. You can just tell there's a difference, right? Like a lot of people are upset that Jazz doesn't talk in rhyme and that Soundwave is talking how he did like in the G1 show. So yeah. Alita 2, I think you mean 1, is about to go on her villain arc. She's giving me real Megatron vibes. She's not fully evil yet, but I could see her killing a fellow Autobot in a fit of rage. Well, I think she is going on a villain arc. I want to say Megatron vibes. But killing a fellow Autobot, I feel like we would have seen that with Cliffjumper. Like that would have been a real like needle drop if Kirkman started the story off with her just shooting Cliffjumper and ending this, you know, ending Cliffjumper's story, which would suck because Cliffjumper is awesome in the story, dude. Like Cliffjumper's awesome, dude. Like huge respect to him, dude. So I don't know about all that. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Alita 1. I'm pretty sure like I don't know what Kirkman's gonna do with Alita, bro. I gotta be honest. I don't know what's gonna happen because we've had this whole story arc continue since, I mean, really volume 2, but it hasn't really picked up since volume 3 with how she's like felt. So yeah, it was a really good transition issue. I like the addition of Mirage and Bulkhead and the hints that Robert Kirkman has given us about the Dinobots. Yeah, I really like that as well. I think that was really well done, like a nice little foreshadowing. They're definitely coming. Personally, I like to see the Mirage spy side and Bulkhead as a space bridge engineer. Maybe he can rebuild a Shockwave space bridge and connect with Lita's side of the story. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. You know, like it was funny because when I read the comic and I'm like Mirage and I thought of Cliffjumper, I'm like, oh man, Cliff's gonna freak out. Like if they do that little story, like plot point with the G1 show where like Cliff thought Mirage was a spy, but I don't know. I doubt they'll do that. Bulkhead as a space bridge engineer, it could happen. It could happen without. I think I'll post the preview pages tomorrow when this video comes out, so that way if you guys didn't see it, you guys won't be as confused. Bulkhead, he looks like he's like part of like I said this on my stream, I feel like he's part of like Ironhide and Ratchet's like family in a sense, because the way he's drawn, especially in issue 27, he looks like he would be like the youngest brother of those two. Like Ironhide would be the oldest, Ratchet would be like the middle, like the middle child, and Bulkhead's like the youngest. That's how Bulkhead looks to me. So I mean, sure, he can be the, you know, the space bridge, you know, engineer and all that, and you know, but like he really gives me the bruiser, like the, you know, like Bulkhead joining the Autobots is going to be huge. Like that's going to be a huge addition to the team. Thundercracker and Alita 1's part of the story continues. Yeah, I think so too. I want to see all that continue. I think that if somehow Alita and Optimus meet again, there's going to be a fight or a huge argument. I don't think there's going to be a fight. I know a lot of people think there's going to be like a, you know, this crazy huge fight. Unless like Optimus is like pushed the edge, he's not going to fight her. And even then, I don't think so. Like a huge argument for sure. We saw that back in volume 2. Civil War, absolutely. There's going to be an Autobot Civil War, 100%. I want to see how the relationship between Shredhead and Carly is. Yeah, we didn't get any Carly or Spike last issue, and that's another one of my problems. No Carly and Spike. It was weird. Something seems off the military. I think they're making weapons or maybe artificial transformers behind Optimus's back. Oh yeah. Oh dude, there's something so fishy going on. It's insane. It's like, oh my god. There's a reason why Optimus wasn't saying anything, you know, when we were reading that. Like he wasn't saying a whole lot. And something that I noticed, but maybe it's something mine, is that Optimus' personality has changed a bit. Maybe it's because of change of rider. Yeah, a lot of these characters are changing a lot. Like I'd say like maybe only Megatron has stayed the same. Although like I'd say Magnus is kind of the same. Like I'm like thinking about like Magnus, Wheeljack, Megatron. I feel like those guys are pretty much the same. I would say so. I think maybe RC too, but we haven't seen too much of her, right? So I've seen contention over the new art style, but I, for one, really like it. It gives off more hopeful feeling, which is what the series desperately needs right now, especially after the absolute massacre that just occurred. Yeah, and I think that's a fair thing too. Like I'm not gonna hate on people who like this art style, because some people just really do like a nice, clean, you know, art style, and that's what Mora does, and he does it really well. I mean, that's why he was very successful over at DC doing Superman and all that. So I think you saying it has a hopeful feeling, it nails it right on the head. I think a good art style change is good. It's good. I just prefer Corona's art. I mean, if I'm being honest, I prefer Warren Johnson's art out of the three, but from the sample size we've seen, I'm gonna prefer Corona. Soundwave allowed himself to be captured, so the Autobots would take him to their base. From there, he'll be able to spy on them for Megatron. Maybe. I mean, they already know where the base is at, and it's not like the Autobots have a whole lot going on right now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm got a Morbius profile picture. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say maybe on that. I don't know. I feel like Soundwave was just buried under the rubble, and you know. I have a theory that the sergeant that we see is a Cobra spy or has something to do with Cobra, and the scenes with him and Optimus seem too eerie. Yeah, shout out to Moonbase 3 and Carl's collection. They brought this up on Teletran tapes. Oh my god, what's his name? Zardon? No, I'm never beating the allegations, bro. The GI Joe folks, dude, they're gonna hurt me, bro. They're gonna break my kneecaps. I think that's his name, Zarbon. Whatever, dude. The guy who does like he's like a shapeshifter of some kind. Like Moon and Carl said that like maybe he's like actually General Flagg, but like in disguise, which would be a cool plot twist. Oh wait, right here. Wait, my go commented. Okay, Zartan. Okay, all right. I'm gonna read that in a second. Okay, I just saw that according to my eye. But yeah, I think there's a good chance he's a Cobra spy. I think so. Starscream will turn evil again, but not a Decepticon. He will be fueled by a need for revenge against Megatron from what he did for him for so long, almost like season 2 of Transformers Prime. Starscream's alone, struggling to survive. Yeah, like we could get like I mean, we already had like a Starscream's brigade arc, so like it's kind of hard for me to say like, oh, Starscream's gonna be on his own again, because like he already kind of did that, you know, in Volume 3. Because like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, like he's alone and he's struggling. I think he's just gonna become a Decepticon again, and he's just gonna have to like prove to Megatron why he's needed. But it might be a little redundant if they do something like that, where he's by himself and struggling to survive, and I don't know. Maybe he goes back to Cybertron. I mean, I guess I would prefer that if he would just to go back to Cybertron and try and take over Cybertron, but it wouldn't be too long before Megatron, you know, finds out. Moon, my guy, hope you're feeling better, buddy. I'll probably be completely wrong here, but so far I'm leaning towards Flagg as Zartan, so yep. 2, Thundercracker is working willingly or unwillingly with Cobra Law. Hopefully it's unwillingly, because that would suck. Like, poor Thundercracker, dude. Like, he just wants to free his bro Skywarp, but he can't, and then the arc gets teleported, and you get sent to Cobra Law, and you know, you're just... And I just want to point this out. Megatron, who was missing an arm, and basically his eyes, struggled against Cobra Law and Globulus. And I would say Megatron, with both of his eyes missing and missing one arm, is still stronger than Thundercracker. So, like, I think Thundercracker got the living crap beaten out of him in Cobra Law. Like, I think he got the brakes beaten off of him, bro. Like, oof. So, hopefully it's unwillingly working with Cobra Law, because, well, I was about to say this, but it's in the preview for 27. I was about to say... we don't know where Jetfire is, but you know, we do now. So hopefully you guys see the preview pages before I'm saying this, because I'm just dropping these spoilers. I'm sorry. But yeah, I kind of hope Flagg is Zartan, because Yeah, I don't know. Something rubs me the wrong way about General Flagg. And why didn't Magnus speak up about Flagg being there? Like talking to Optimus. It was so weird. That's another thing. That was really weird. Like, all hail Starscream. Fair enough. I think Starscream will become a ghost revenge at Megatron and Optimus Prime. Miles Mayhem, the evil leader of Venom from Mask, and the ending Alita 1 turning insane and evil that she's going to kill her ex-boyfriend, Optimus Prime, as her enemy by betraying her by choosing Earth over their home planet, Cybertron. Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Starscream becoming a ghost. I say out of all of these, that's probably what's going to happen. Do I think he's going to get revenge at, like, Optimus? No. Megatron? Sure. Miles Mayhem, the evil leader of Venom. Yeah, you guys. It was funny. I was like, okay, I know who this guy is now. I like it when you guys help me out. And I'm just like, okay, now I know. But yeah, apparently that's like a whole different property. I thought that was like GI Joe stuff, but I guess it's, or I don't know, whatever, dude. I don't know about the last part, dude. I don't know. Alita 1 turning insane and evil. I mean, maybe, but going to kill Optimus, I don't know. I mean, like, okay, she did say like he's our enemy, but I don't know, bro. I don't know about all that. It would really suck if Kirkman's like, Alita's gonna kill off Optimus, and that's how we get Rodimus Prime, and boom, we get Unicron. I'm like, that would suck. That would suck. I don't think he would do that, but I don't know, man. All hail Megatron. Things are about to get more interesting and expensive. Dude, how long have I been recording? Okay, so almost 30 minutes. So I'm probably gonna do a couple more of these. Things are about to get more interesting and expansive now. The sign of the Dinobots, the appearance of Bulkhead. Please bring in Lugnut too. Ooh, Lugnut would be cool. However, I kind of feel like Soundwave is that kind of position Lugnut has, because Lugnut was like the most loyal dude in animated. Like everyone told him Megatron was dead, but he was like, no, like I know he's not. And you know, he was right. So I don't know. That would be cool though. Alita's a Decepticon. I don't think so. Megatron Reborn. I don't know what you mean by reborn. Maybe he gets. I don't know. Is it hard? Like, Megatron's weird in this story because, you know, he has like the dark spark. People are calling it. Like, could he get a new body? Like, isn't he like literally like, I don't know. There's so much stuff we don't know about like that dark spark and what he can do, because he can apparently just attach his limbs like it's nothing. We saw that in the special. And then he can heal others, but it looks like he can't heal himself. So, like, could he get a new body? Like, I feel like the only way he gets a new body, man, is like Galvatron, right? Like, I don't know. I would like him to have a new alt mode, though. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of the tank. Although, I guess he's not... I say that, but has he been a tank in this story? I don't think so, right? He's just been the gun mode, right? Yeah, he's just been the gun mode. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Clearly, it's getting late. Hopefully next 25 issues, but I'm also kind of tired of the gun mode, too, if I'm being honest. Hopefully next 25 issues, possible to 100, will most definitely be the most engaging Transformers we have seen. It's looking unpredictable, and I'm here for it. Yeah, I just want to say this too, guys. The story's not going anywhere. Like, I think we're fine. Like, I think us looking ahead to issue 100 is fine. I think that's fine. I don't think this story is going away anytime soon. So the people that were panicking, don't panic. It's this story's here to stay. Okay. But yeah, I agree. We don't know what's gonna happen, right? Thundercracker possibly joining the Aerobots. Maybe. I don't know. God, could you imagine if he does that and then everyone's like, all right, guys, give us a Hasbro, give us a Thundercracker, give us like a slingshot redeco of Thundercracker. I would kind of prefer Alpha Bravo at this point, and that's crazy coming from me because I was pushing the Blades narrative, but dude, where's Blades, man? Like, where is he? I think it's a good start, and I do have some predictions for what's to come, like Megatron getting a space bridge built, using Nemesis remains. I think that's likely to happen as well. Returning to Cybertron where he'll gather reinforcements, take on the bots. Yep. I think soon, maybe not this story arc, but next story arc, we're gonna get a war on Cybertron. Like, I think somehow, some way, like, they're gonna have to go back to Cybertron sooner than later. Grimlock will be showing up soon, but the bots will revive the remaining bots on the arc. That would be cool. Like if all the bots came back. I don't know how people would feel if they did that, because there's a lot of people who don't like the fact that the Autobots or just characters in general get killed off so easily, but then they come back like it's nothing. It's weird because some people want them to stay dead, but there's also people that hate how they get killed off so much. I think Kirkman's gonna probably bring back a lot of characters, and we already know that from the 27 previews that are a work in progress. So we'll see how that pans out. Not to say that's good or bad. I just think a lot, like, no matter what, right? You can't please everyone, of course, but definitely one side's going to be louder than the other once this story arc finishes up, because if we have, you know, all the Autobots and Decepticons back and nothing ever happened, you know, there's gonna be a lot of people that are upset, like, dude, what the hell, you know, like, you know, Braun's supposed to be dead and, you know, he's back, you know. So I don't know. I guess I'm good either way. As long as the storytelling's like decent on how they do that, I'm cool with it. I feel like the beginning scene with the original art style was supposed to be at the end of the last issue. Like the feeling gives like a post-credit scene. Yeah, I think that's like a fair. I think that's a fair like way of looking at it, because that Megatron was talking. Was the way, like I said, the way he was like talking, it felt very Warren Johnson like. So yeah, definitely post-credit. Like who knows, bro? Like for all we know, that was probably Warren Johnson's last thing, but he's not listed in the comic, you know, as a writer. So we don't know. Like, so it was probably all Kirkman. It would have made good for seeing the last scene of the OG run with Meg's rallying his troops and preparing to continue the war. It would have been nice. It would have been really good if 24 was the longer issue and 25 wasn't. I think that would have been a lot better, but the way they went about doing the longer issue for 25, I'd say it was a decent enough job, because you had the really cool transition with the art. So, you know, take it or leave it, I guess. So let's see here. I'm gonna try and speed through these real quick, because I don't want this to be too long for you guys. Love the scene where Optimus talks to the little girl, because yeah, it's very Optimus, strong enough to be gentle. I love it. I want to miss the old art style. Me too, bro. Me too. But I'm gonna give the new one a shot. New here, glad to be here. Welcome. I don't like it. I feel like a lot of characters change a bit too. Whoa, bro posted a book. All right, let me see here, because okay, we'll end this right here. Let's be the last one. All right. So Brody says, I don't like it. I feel like a lot of characters changed a bit too much, a bit too quick. Like you got Soundwave now speaking like he did in the show. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Should be, but it wasn't how we were seeing him before. He was almost more emotional in the Danny Warren Johnson run. Yeah, I agree. I think it's weird to change unless there's like a purpose. Like if Soundwave got injured in the fight and then he gets repaired and they're like, hey, your vocal, you know, whatever, like your vocal system is like fried for the time being, and so like Soundwave can only speak very limited. I think that's a good way of doing it, but he just outright says, you know, like he just talks how he did in the show. So it kind of sucks. As long as there was a purpose, you know, like with Jazz, you know, if he doesn't talk in rhymes, you know, things start to seem a little bit more severe for him, and he was like, you know what, I gotta take stuff more serious, you know, like as long as there's a purpose. But right now there is no purpose. Like it was just changes that were just made. Alita has turned on Optimus for what seems like no reason at all, other than for the plot, which is sentiment I feel shared even between the other Autobots on the page, as it's Cliff that caused the problem. I wouldn't say it just happened, because we've been talking about this since volume 3. So I wouldn't say like, oh, she just turned on Optimus. No, she really turned on Optimus back in issue 12 at the end of volume 2. She wanted to use that energon that was not, you know, ethically made, you know, that was literally biofuel from, you know, wildlife on Earth. So I think that was the real moment she was turning on Optimus. Now, where it's been building up to where we are now, you know, declaring him an enemy, do I think that's like outrageous? Yes. Like I said before, I see where she's coming from, but I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. Like, you know, but to be fair, Alita's been fighting nonstop, right? Like all the Autobots were in stasis for the longest time on Earth. So, yeah. So Starscream's redemption arc has seemingly been shut down straight off the bat, which I think takes away a lot of the meaning of the ending Diddy Warren Johnson gave him. And Optimus, well, he's just, I don't know, weird. Okay, so let's break this down real quick. I don't think Starscream should have a redemption arc, and I know a lot of people will disagree with that. I was gonna make a video about this, actually. I'm not even kidding. I was gonna make a dedicated video about this, but I was like, no, I don't want to. Starscream does not deserve redemption, and maybe I will make a video on this now. He does not deserve redemption, bro. Like, he is a bad character. Like, he's not to say the writing's bad. He's an evil guy. He is very evil. So that's why, like, seeing him turn into Oktar for that split second was really crazy to see. You know, I feel like that's such a Daniel Warren Johnson. The dude's like, oh, he's evil, and then boom, he's Oktar. I don't think Starscream should have a redemption arc. Like, there's been redemption arcs done before, like Transformers Armada. You know, that Starscream. I think that's one of the best Starscreams of all time. Like, best iterations of the character, for sure. But, like, that's because it was always like an uphill battle for him. Like, he had highs and lows, right? And I feel like for here, he was just, he was thrown into the war because of Genvo, and she saw Genvo die, and then he's been put under Megatron's control. And my thing is when people were like, okay, he was under Megatron's control, he didn't know what he was doing. I disagree, because let's not forget, he wasn't under Megatron's control for the first half of the story. He was just willingly he picked up Carly's dad and squished him like a gusher, okay? I don't think he's one of those guys who should have redemption. And I'm not saying he should be an Autobot. I'm not saying, anything like that, because I think that's crazy unless it's done like well. But I don't think Starscream should have redemption at all. I think the whole, Omega Supreme and Oktar thing was an interesting thing to do, but I don't think this was like a redemption arc. I don't think so. I don't think so. And Optimus, yeah, I wouldn't say he's weird, but he definitely, other than like the little girl scene, he just was very quiet. And I think like it's because he doesn't trust General Flagg, and rightfully so. And I mean, come on, like depending on where, because we still know the origins of this Optimus Prime. Like, we don't know like what Orion Pax was. If he was a clerk or whatever. I personally think like this might be a crackpot theory. I think he might have been a gladiator, because they keep hinting that Optimus was like just a different guy on Cybertron. Like, like he's one of the reasons why the war happened, or like how it got so bad. And that, Alita talks about how brutal he was back then, how good, like, so there's like a good chance this Optimus was like a freaking gladiator for all we know. But anyways, he has the wisdom. He knows there's something up with General Flagg, but I think next issue, hopefully, we'll get some more Optimus bits. But yeah, Kirkman isn't really sure how to write him. Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's what I was literally about to say, and you just wrote it for me, so thank you. I don't think he knows how to write him yet, because like Warren Johnson had him down. Like he knew what to do with the character, and like it's the most long running joke between me and the awesome people over at Teletran Tapes is like, we call Optimus Prime a baby, but like we know he's not. It's a joke, but it's because like Skybound Optimus has a lot of layers, bro. Like oh man, poor guy. Like he's a poor guy, right? And like a lot of people like make fun of him too and call him a baby, so that's why we jokingly say it. But yeah, I don't know how Kirkman's gonna do it. Hopefully it's not a whole like departure. Yeah, he had him saying some long and winded sentence that I caught myself. If it's the one you're talking about where he's like first talking to the girl and he said that whole long thing, Delta Trion said the same thing, and I agree. However, I think the thing after that he says was a very Optimus Prime thing, where it's like, there's no such thing as like truly bad, only misguided. Like, I think that's an Optimus Prime thing. But if you're talking about like that whole paragraph he said before, like this little girl doesn't know what he's talking about. Like she's lost. Like Like, what is he saying? So I don't know. Yeah, well, okay. I should clearly just read. I should keep reading and stop pausing, because he literally says, for example, his conversation with the little girl is related about recognizing that. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, it doesn't feel like the same Optimus Prime I'm trying to make, if I'm being honest. I got a very Bayverse vibe from this. No, I disagree. That's not Bayverse, bro. That's not Bayverse. I mean, like, look, say what you want about Bayverse, like the first movie, that version of Optimus was really nice. I know he descends into madness towards the end of the movies, but I didn't get Bayverse vibe from him at all. Like, I just, you know, it's the aftermath, man. It's the aftermath of everything that just happened. I would say I would pump the brakes on, you know, saying he's like Bayverse now, because if anything, Warren Johnson kind of made him Bayverse like with the ripping and tearing he was doing. So, but I'm not gonna open that can of worms. I guess I kind of just did. Anyway, rant over. I literally just put the issue down, and those are my honest thoughts. I realize I sound like a DWJ fanboy at some points, but having read the Matrix of Leadership, my bad, at the end, and seeing Kirkman talking about how having it feel like a natural transition to his run, I feel like it's been anything but, and things that should have been changed over a few issues have been changed straight away, leading it to feel unnatural and awkward. I'm still holding out hope, though, and I do hope Kirkman manages to find his feet with the coming issues. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, we're talking about early predictions, early hot takes, too early to say. And I think that's fine, dude. I think it's fine for you to prefer. Sheesh, I really should just call this here soon. I will after this. I can't speak tonight. I think it's fine for people to prefer what's been done for the last 24 issues. I mean, this story's been going on for 2 years now, right? So we have a good sample size of what we know. And when stuff changes, we don't know what's coming, right? So I think that's fine for you to, you know, prefer the stuff that Warren Johnson did. And I don't think you sound like a fanboy. There's just, you know, changes that were made. And I agree. Some things just, it was not a transition in some parts. It just was a straight up change. And whether those are good changes or bad, we'll find out in the next couple of issues, because this was only the first issue, right? There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be, you listening to me stutter tonight, that's growing pains. That's you. Because you know, it is what it is, right? So I think with this story, there's going to be growing pains. I still stand by with my rating. I give this like issue a 7 out of 10, which isn't a bad thing at all. I still think that's good, you know, but we know what this story can be. So we hold it to a higher degree, because this story is very good. And I don't think the story is going to go horrible unless Kirkman literally is like, Alita 1's going to come to Earth and destroy the whole planet. But that's not going to happen. Unless it's like a whole story arc, which, okay. No, I'm just eating my words. Hopefully Kirkman's not watching this and he's just taking notes of all the bad things to do and what not to do. But I don't know. It's weird. This was like the first time so far, and I think it's just because like the change of writing and, you know, the art. But like, I was obviously looking forward to issue 25 because this is a huge moment. I would argue that issue 24 was a more of a bigger moment because it was the finale, but this was also a huge moment, bro. Like, this was a huge moment because it is a brand new story arc. And so far from what we've seen, I don't want to say there's a lot to be desired because that's like over dramatic, but there are some things that, you know, we saw, and there's going to be growing pains, and I think the story will get better for sure. And I think you nailed it right on the head. I don't think Kirkman knows how to write Optimus yet, but man, he's got Megatron nailed. He's got Megatron nailed down, which is good. I think that's actually really good, because if Megatron was like written all crazy and differently, we would have to have a serious talk. This would not be an open discussion. We would be like, because he's supposed to be the main villain now. He's supposed to be the main villain. But I appreciate you guys leaving comments down below. And then for people who didn't comment, comment on this video of your, you know, too early predictions and hot takes, and let me know if I was wrong in anything and if you disagree with me, because that's completely fine. And if you guys agree with any of these comments that I disagreed with, let me know. This is still an open discussion. I think I think next month will be a little bit better. I think issue 26 will be a little bit better. I think since this was a larger issue, there was just kind of some growing pain. So hopefully the next couple of issues aren't as bad. We got 2 issues left before we head into the new year. So hopefully I don't got to do another open discussion for this for quite some time. And this story kind of gets the, gets the gears turning and rolling, right? But I appreciate you guys listening. I'm sorry this was super long, or maybe you guys are happy. I don't know, but I will catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully soon we'll cover something else.